Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. This is another photography video, and currently it's September, so I am out somewhere doing archery elk season here in Colorado. The morning I went out to America the Beautiful Park here in Colorado Springs with my $245 full frame setup here on the Canon 5D Mark II. I also had with me my Canon 6D, and this time it's wearing a Tamron 28-300 all-in-one lens. I do like an all-in-one lens because I don't like to change lenses. It's annoying. That's when you're going to get dust into your sensor, dust into your lens, especially these non-sealed lenses, although I think this Tamron has a little bit of sealing in it. But the older ones, like this 28-80, this old bad boy right here, yeah. Anywho, but that's not the biggest reason. The biggest reason is I just don't like it. It's a pain in the butt. So that's the real reason. Now I admit, something like this Tamron isn't going to produce the results of, say, having a two lenses that cover this range, like a 24-70 and a 70-300, dedicated to those tasks. And then maybe throw in a prime with a fast aperture. That's probably the best way to go, but I was just trying to run out there and try to do some redeeming shots that morning, because I did like what I saw the afternoon I was out there with all the gray skies and whatnot. So we went out there with both of these bad boys and tried to get something done. So all of these shots here are the HDR mode out of the 6D. So these are going to be on a tripod with it's 3 shots, 3 steps over, 0 steps over, and 3 steps under. So 3 shots, 3 over, on, 3 under. And that way I don't have to play with anything in post, because I don't really do that. I don't even have any raw processing software on my computer right now, so I can't really process any raw files. Anywho, so this one, I don't have any raw files of the day like I do with the 5D Mark II. But anywho, this is what we got. This first shot is looking back toward the sunrise, back towards downtown. Got a little bit of flare off the sun coming up over that building right there, but one of the problems with HDR is the 3 exposures create some ghosting on anything that's moving, like these flags flapping in the wind. So anything moving, HDR doesn't do a very good job with in that regard. So this is a similar vertical shot of what I did with the 5D, and that's just back toward the Drake power plant that's decommissioned and getting torn down. Just like I said in the 5D Mark II video, I can't lean out far enough to get away from that left facade and still have a decent composition where the smokestacks are and all that stuff. So like I said in that video, probably putting it on my tripod, turning the tripod 90 degrees, or turning the tripod head 90 degrees, putting it on 10-second timer and sticking it out over the tracks would probably be the best way, because otherwise you're looking through chain link fence and that doesn't work very well. So then the next shot is just a horizontal of that shot, zoomed in a good bit more. I still got the facade of the building on the left. And in the distance here, just high left of center, you'll see 2 red cranes that make an X. So I decided the next shot, 2 shots, I'm going to center that, one from far, and then I'm going to zoom in, use that 300 on that all-in-one lens and zoom way in there. This shot, just like kind of like the 5D, shooting the bridge from a different little bit of an angle with Pikes Peak in the background. In this case, I was trying to kind of get this left side pointing right to Pikes Peak. And then another composition with Pikes Peak centered high in the frame. And if I were doing this for real, I would either need to Photoshop that chain down in the bottom left. You see the shadow of the chain and the sign that says do not go on the bridge, yeah, I would need to either go back when it was accessible or Photoshop that out. This is the coil. Thought it was a bike rack, but it's actually more of a spiral coil spring type thing that looks like it's partially buried. So I just took a different shot than I did with the 5D. And then of course I took a center shot with the 6D here. The image quality out of this lens was okay. The colors came out fine, probably because it's the Canon 6D. The one thing I noticed about this lens though was the autofocus. It sometimes would not lock onto anything. For instance, this house in the distance, it would not lock onto that thing at all. I had to try to manually focus this shot. A couple times I had to get the focus close with the manual ring, which it seems like I can just do that without having to switch it to manual focus on the lens and move it back to autofocus. I can kind of get real close with the manual focus ring and then go back to my shutter that I got for the half press to focus and get it to go the rest of the way. So that was, if it was struggling and wouldn't lock onto something, I would have to use the focus ring on the lens and then half press the shutter. So I don't know why it's not like this is that old of a lens. It came out in I think 2014 and the camera is what, a 2012, so I don't know why it wouldn't maybe sync up a little bit better. I enjoyed the morning with these two cameras, but I guess the subject of this video is the 6D, and I really like this 6D. I find it very just comfortable from a just carrying around standpoint. It's fairly light relative to this. This one's like the finger ledge, it's just not really there. I really don't want to let my thumb go in the back. I don't want to let go because it like wants to come out. Whereas the 6D, I can just, I mean, two fingers, I feel comfortable that this ain't going anywhere. Even with this lens, it's kind of a, it's not that heavy of a lens, but it's pretty heavy. But anyway, I like it. I like it. So anyway, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down there, and as always, thanks for watching.